Good morning, everyone. Today, I talk about my old Maruti 800 Suzuki and this Toyota Etios. In my old Maruti 800, I actually general ride was 7 kilometers in the morning to taking kids to school and 7 kilometers in the afternoon. Total 14 kilometers drive per day. So around 280 kilometers. If Saturday class is there, it may go over 300 kilometers. For this 300 kilometers, right, I used to put only 1000 rupees petrol. Very rarely, in very few months, I put 200 or 300 rupees more. Most of the months, I put 1000 rupees petrol. So if you're 300 kilometers, uh, at that time, petrol price was around 65 rupees per liter. So it was only 15 liters or 16 liters petrol, not 20 liters. So 20 liters petrol means this 300 kilometers you are getting to 20 liters petrol. If you are putting to this 300 kilometers, you are getting around 20 liters petrol. For 300 kilometers you are getting 15 kilometers per liter. So I was putting less than 20 kilometers. I am putting only 16 kilometers liter. Very few months I have put maybe 200 rupees more, 3 liters more, 19 liters. Very few months is 15 to 60 kilometers generally I put. Very few months only I put this 200 rupees more. So 1200 rupees. That is around 890 liters petrol, 18 or 90 liters petrol. That is done only very 90 liters petrol around very few months. Most of the month it is 15 to 16 liters petrol, and this car covers 300 kilometers comfortably with 15 to 16 liters petrol. So it was giving much more than 15. I was roughly calculating 15 kilometers with AC. That old Maruti Suzuki 800, no, the AC, it was giving 15 liters. My calculation was around 15 liters, but if you look into the records, it was more than 15 liters for in the local trips. That is in the local trips, not you are trying from here to Perimali, you get 20 kilometers. From in the local trips itself, it was more than 15 kilometers per liter. So only I put 1200 rupees petrol only when the Saturday class. Generally it is 280 to 300 kilometers. If some local marriage trips or some additional ride is there, then only I put 200 or 300 rupees extra in that old Maruti Suzuki car. So that was giving a tremendous mileage. Now I generally put 2500 rupees petrol. That is 1500 for son. I had to take him 7 kilometers per day. Morning, no, afternoon he is going in scooter. After morning 7 kilometers per day means around 20 days. It will come to 140 kilometers. Here some Saturdays classes are there. So that morning trips also, if you add, it will come average. If you add 3 classes on Saturdays, then average will come another 20. So 160 kilometers per liter. That's 1500 is enough for his trip. You are getting little over 10 kilometers mileage for this car. So 1500 is enough for his 160 kilometers. Daughter around 5 morning 2.5 kilometers, afternoon 2.5 kilometers. So around 5 kilometers per day. So 20 days. She has only work 20 days a month. So 20 days means around 1000 rupees petrol only needed for daughter. 1500. So I generally put 2500 liters per month in the car. That is enough for a month now. Old car I never put over 1000 rupees. Maybe in few months I put an addition 200 300 extra. That only I does if I have a local trip. Suppose I had to go to Ernakulam in those days, I put only 300 rupees. Now I go to Ernakulam, I put 1000 rupees. In those days I got 300 rupees. Maximum in Ernakulam trip I put in the old car was 500 rupees. Generally I put was 300 rupees for the Ernakulam trip. That was enough. 500 is luxury. If you have some drive around Ernakulam, you put 500 rupees in the old. This I generally put 600 or 700 rupees for Ernakulam trip, and if more ride is there, I put 1000 rupees in this car. So there's a difference in mileage in both the cars, like this car and the other car.